The bride who died before her wedding and still got married. She was loved. She was beautiful. And she was dead. But that didn't stop the wedding from happening. In the northern hills of Edo State, Nigeria, they still whisper about a bride named Osoro, whose heart stopped just days before her wedding. But her family dressed her in white. Her groom arrived with his people. The drums played. The dowry was paid. And they married her, cold body and all, before the sun went down. Why? Because her spirit demanded it. And the village dared not refuse. Erowa was not just a village, it was a memory carved into the hills. A place where traditions were not written in books but passed from mouth to mouth like sacred incense. Osoro was born during the Festival of Winds, a time when the harmattan swept across the land and the rivers ran quiet. Her mother, Iya, said the moment Osoro entered the world, the wind stopped and the sun appeared, even though it had been raining for 7 days straight. They called her Osoro, meaning God hears. And some believed she was an answer to a prayer spoken generations ago. She was radiant. Not just in beauty, but in spirit. Her laughter had a rhythm to it. Her presence lit up courtyards. When she entered a gathering, even the drummers adjusted their tempo to match her walk. As a child, she showed signs of the sacred. Dreams that came true. Warnings that saved lives. Animals followed her. Ancestral beads given to her mother refused to rest on anyone else's wrist until Osoro wore them. The elders said she was born with the veil, a rare spiritual blessing or curse. Her father, Chief Agbonifo, was both feared and respected. He ruled with iron will and swift judgment, but when it came to Osoro, he melted. His voice softened. His punishment paused. She was his only daughter, and the only thing he feared losing. Osoro met F at the river. He was returning from a hunt, carrying a freshly caught bushmeat on his shoulder. She was fetching water, singing to herself, her laughter chasing dragonflies across the riverbank. Their eyes met. That was all. From that day, they found excuses to meet. Fetching firewood. Visiting the market. Sitting beside the same fire at the yam festival. They spoke in silences, in glances, in smiles. F was not from a powerful family. His father was a hunter, his mother a trader. But what he lacked in wealth, he made up for in humility, kindness, and the kind of strength that comes from carrying more than you should. When he asked for her hand, Chief Agbonifo nearly laughed. But Osoro said, "If I cannot marry F, I will marry no one." And that was that. Preparations began. The family agreed on a wedding date, 3 weeks before the Osun festival, a sacred time when marriages were said to be blessed by the river goddess herself. Cloth was bought from a bodon. A white wrapper stitched with gold thread. Coral beads. Palm wine. The groom's people carved a special wooden seat for her, the bride throne, painted red and adorned with cowries and leopard skin. F planted 3 trees in front of the house they would live in. Osoro named them Joy, Peace, and Tomorrow. The whole village buzzed with anticipation. But destiny had other plans. 3 days before the wedding, Osoro complained of a headache. Nothing more. Her mother gave her agbo medicine boiled with bitter leaves and ginger. Osoro lay on her mat, closed her eyes, and said, "Mama, wake me up when the hen sings." But she never woke. When Iya came to check on her daughter, she found her cold. Her arms were crossed neatly over her chest. Her face was peaceful. As if she had simply stepped away. They screamed. People came running. F arrived barefoot. He collapsed beside her, shaking her, calling her name over and over. "Osoro. Wake up. The yams are ready. The wrappers have arrived. You promised to braid my sister's hair, remember?" But she didn't stir. The priestess came. She examined the body, chanted over her, sprinkled herbs. Then she shook her head. She has crossed. And she did not ask permission to return. Chief Agbonifo locked himself in his shrine and refused to eat. By nightfall, a council had gathered. Osoro was dead, but she was also promised. The rites had already begun. The bride price had been negotiated. The ancestors had been called. If the marriage was not completed, her spirit would remain in limbo. Worse still, she might return as a vengeful spirit, bitter and unfinished. These spirits are the most dangerous. The ones who knock at night, who speak through dreams, who cause the wombs of brides to dry up and rivers to turn black. The village had seen it before. The woman who drowned in her bridal cloth and caused her family's compound to catch fire twice in 1 year. The bride who died during palm wine rites and whose mother went mad within months. Osoro was loved. But the ancestors followed the law, not the heart. One elder said, "Let the marriage be done. Let her cross over as a wife, not a girl." The next morning, they agreed. The wedding would continue. Before dawn, the women bathed Osoro with sacred herbs, palm oil, and river water. They spoke to her gently, as if she were only sleeping. She must not feel shame on her wedding day, they said. They dressed her in the white lace wrapper she had chosen herself. Placed coral beads around her wrists and ankles. Painted her lips and placed cowrie shells in her hair. Her lifeless body was carried to the village square and sat upright on the bride throne. Beside her, her betrothed stood, wearing white and red, eyes red from weeping. The drummers played slowly. The songs were mournful, yet dignified. The groom knelt before the bride and said the vows they had practiced only 2 weeks before. He promised to honor her, even in silence. To love her, even in absence. To remember her, even after the body is dust. The priestess poured libation on the ground. Palm wine. Kola nut. Then she said, "Osoro, daughter of Iya, wife of F, go in peace. You are married. You are not lost. You belong." They placed her body in a wooden coffin carved with her name. Inside it, they placed her bridal veil, her favorite comb, and a love letter written by F. Sealed with his tears. She was buried behind the house they built for her. Under the tree she named Tomorrow. 4 months after her burial, F stayed in that house alone. He didn't speak much. Didn't eat unless someone reminded him. Didn't sleep unless he heard her favorite song being hummed. But then strange things began to happen. One night, a neighbor said he saw light inside the house, though F was away. Another swore she heard humming. Osoro's voice, soft and clear. And F himself, in a rare moment, admitted. "Sometimes I smell her soap. Or hear her laugh, just before dawn." But he was never afraid. He believed her spirit visited to say thank you. The priestess confirmed it. She has crossed, but she is pleased. She will protect this land. She is not angry. On the 1-year anniversary of the wedding, it rained. Not ordinary rain, but sweet, warm drops that tasted like palm wine. Some say it was Osoro, blessing the land she loved. F never remarried. He said no woman could replace someone who chose him both in life and in death. He grew old quietly. And when he fell ill, he made one request. "Bury me beside her. Under Tomorrow." When he died, they honored his wish. Now, 2 mounds of earth lie side by side behind the quiet house, one draped in coral beads, the other in a faded white wrapper. People still visit. Some leave flowers. Others leave wedding rings or prayers for love that lasts beyond life. And some swear, on certain nights, you can still hear a faint drumbeat. And laughter. The laughter of a bride who was loved, even after death.